Alright, so I wanted to talk about a couple things that have been on my mind for a little while. I may be a little bit late to the game on some of this, but I just needed some time to gather my thoughts and figure out exactly what I wanted to say. So here it goes. The first thing I wanted to talk about is really controversial, and not many people have agreed. In fact, I can barely count on one hand how many have agreed with me. But this is how I feel, and I do understand the opposing view. I'm just saying this is my opinion. Okay, so the first topic is Michael Vick. Now, I understand that, for lack of better words, he's a piece of crap. He has done horrible things, and I don't believe he's really sorry for doing those things. As far as my understanding goes, he's not really sorry for what he's done. He's just sorry that he got caught and that he got in trouble and he lost a bunch of stuff. But here's where I stand on the entire thing overall. So in, what was it, 2008, I think it was, he got caught during the whole dog fighting thing, and at the time he was suspended by the Falcons, and they suspended him, then eventually released him, making him an unrestricted free agent, also making it possible that he was never going to get a millions of dollar career ever again. He may not have been picked up by a team. So the punishment for a guy who lives on millions a year is that he has zero a year. He may have to go and work in a minimum wage job. Like, maybe nobody hires him ever again. Maybe he ends up on welfare because he can't afford anything, because no one will hire him. So, and he also has to go to jail. He has to do all kinds of time, and I'm sure he did community service and stuff like that, and he had to pay lots of money. I know he had to pay $19.97 million back to the Falcons. So, he's lost a ton. Now, I understand that monetary value is not equal to the lives that he killed or hurt, the animal lives, and I am completely in support of taking away more if the situation warrants it. But here's the opposite opinion, and this is where a lot of people have disagreed. In fact, I've lost some Facebook friends over it, and I understand their views and their hatred towards him. But here we go. So, the system that we have in place is not made to destroy somebody and keep destroying them and make it so not only do they get punished, but they never, ever, care about coming back and recovering, and just destroy them and punish them and attack them and hurt them and ruin them and treat them like garbage. And that's not what this system is. The whole government system, like the penal system, it's made to reform people, whether they agree or disagree with what they've done wrong. I know people who have stolen things or done things, and they're not sorry, but they don't do it again. And they understand that the law needs to be followed. Whether they agree with what they did or didn't do, they understand that from now on, I have to follow the laws because I'm going to get in big trouble if I don't. They come back into society, whether it's little or big. I mean, in this case, Vic understood that he can never do that again. He can never own a dog. He can never, be a part of, obviously, he can never be a part of dogfighting. No one ever should. And just for all of the disclaimer necessity here, I am not for dog fighting. I am not for one, I'm not for Vic ever owning a dog again, or I don't care if his kids want one. Like, if they can move out, they can have a dog. He can't have one. He can't be around one. I don't think he should ever even have the option of that. I don't care if he asks for one. He can ask all he wants. If you were in prison for something that you did or didn't do, whatever, if you were guilty or innocent, and you asked to get out, I don't think you're a horrible person for asking. I just don't think you should if the case warrants for it. So, I heard that in the last couple of years he's asked, the police, he's asked somebody if he was allowed to have a dog, like his parole officers, I guess, or whatever the case may be. I don't want to sound like I'm smarter than I am. I'm not. But I believe he's petitioned to get a dog for his kids, and that's not okay. It's okay that he asked. Like, who cares? You can ask all you want. Doesn't get one. So, overall, he has committed a crime. He has been destroyed in a way because he may not have ever gotten his career back. So he really lost out on a lot of money, which, again, I understand that the value of lives, animal or human, are more important than money, but he did lose a lot. So he's not completely walking away from this without being hurt. In his case, it's financial. So he comes out of the prison system, and he doesn't own a dog. He isn't allowed to have a dog, and it does hurt him because I know his kids want one, or want dogs, or want pets in their lives, and he can't give that to them. He messed up, and it's one of his lifelong punishments. So he comes out, he gets a new career. He got really lucky because, I mean, he wasn't that good in the Philadelphia system, but he did get the chance to play again. So, I mean, that's what it is. You know, he didn't quit. He didn't become a criminal for the rest of his life. And he got back into society. He didn't do what he did before. He apologized to a lot of people, and I believe that's what the system is there for. It's to reform people, show them you cannot do this, and have them live in society. They don't have to agree. He doesn't have to agree that dogfighting's wrong. He doesn't have to agree that him owning a dog isn't allowed. He doesn't have to agree that he did anything wrong. You know what he has to agree to? Never do it again. And that is where people, I believe, have not only taken it too far, but are really hurting the system because they just want to hate on him. Now, again, I understand the hate towards him. I understand the anger towards what he did. So don't think that I'm ignoring that. I'm not. But here's another part of this that I believe happens. So Vic comes out of prison, he gets a new career, and then people go and protest at games, or every time they talk about him, it's, oh, that dog killer, and oh, he's such a scumbag, and oh, he's horrible. Well, at some point, I'm sure he's walking around feeling like, I've stopped doing it, so at some point, I'm not saying it should be forgiven, but it shouldn't be continually talked about. Like, if he has stopped doing it for years, there should be a point where, you say, okay, he's a piece of crap, he's an awful human, but that's it. So, for years, he hears this. He's such a scumbag, he's a lowlife, he's a terrible, and he dog killer. Then, eventually, he's going to get to the point where he's like, you know what, if I'm going to be called this, whether I do it or not, I'm just going to do it. Because, I'm sure he made money off of that. I can't imagine he did that just for fun. But that, I believe, in society, that happens a lot more than we think. Like, if I know in a situation, I am going to give an analogy. So in a situation where a husband and wife are together, and let's say the wife constantly calls the husband a cheater every day, and he never cheats, or doesn't cheat at the time. Every day she's wondering, oh, did you sleep with this woman? Did you sleep with that one? Did you, where were you? What's that on your collar? Like all this stuff, and he hasn't done anything. Eventually, after years and years, or months and months, or whatever, eventually he's going to get to a point where he's like, you know what, if you're going to call me a cheater, no matter what I do, I might as well cheat, because you're never going to change it. So I might as well get something out of this. I don't agree with that, but that happens. If you're going to get called something over and over, no matter what you do, I'm sure he has tried to clear his name, and it's just nothing's going to change that. So if nothing's going to change it, if you're going to be called a dog killer for the rest of your life, no matter what you do, even if you try to make up for it, why not go and do it again? The law, obviously, he'd get in a ton of trouble if he did it again, and I hope he doesn't. Michael Vick, if by any chance you watch this, I want to say I appreciate that you have stayed away from your past crimes, whether you agree with them or not. And for one, I'm kind of proud of you. I'm not proud of the things you've done. I'm not proud of the person you are at times, because I've heard you be a douchebag. But I'm proud of you for getting into trouble and coming out of it and being able to live a life again. So please don't give up on that. I hope you never do the things that you've done wrong. I hope you never, I don't believe you should ever own a dog, but I hope you can come out of this and be a better person and respect the law and respect the people who, are good to you. So I understand it's a really controversial thing to say, and if he ever does these things again, if he ever runs a dog fighting thing again, I'm gonna have to eat my words, and I'm fine with that, because I don't agree with him doing that. I don't agree with anyone doing anything harmful to animals. So that's my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Okay, so that's it for Vlog 23. I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to more.